Hello, my name is Rochelle Conway, and I am an environmentalist in land resources management in the Wetlands Bureau at the New Hampshire Department of Environmental Services. If you are an agent or homeowner in the planning and design phase of a proposed project in or near wetlands, there are some things to consider that relate to specific state statutes and rule requirements. In this video, I'd like to share some tips with you on getting better project results when filing your standard dredge and fill wetlands permit application.
It is important to know the land. Work that impacts wetlands, such as swamps and forested wetlands, and surface waters, such as ponds and streams, may require a permit from the New Hampshire Department of Environmental Services. While it may be obvious if you have a large stream or lakefront on your property, it can be much more difficult to determine if you have a wetland, because wetlands don't always look wet. If you're wondering if your project will require a permit, here are some clues that you might need to retain a professional. Does it slope downhill? Since water travels downhill, are there any channels or water flow patterns on your property? What kinds of soils exist? When it rains, does water drain quickly into the soil, or does it sit on top for a while? Are there depressions that hold water in the spring? If so, a vernal pool may be present, which is a particularly valuable type of wetland for protected species such as turtles, amphibians, and other wildlife. Are the tree's roots on its tiptoes? This might imply that the soil holds a lot of water. Does an area hold water for a period of time during the growing season? Are there sediment deposits on the leaves or watermarks on rocks, or are there water-stained leaves present later in the season when things dry up? These are indicators that the area held water, and if you see any of these signs, you might consider retaining a certified wetland scientist to delineate wetlands on your property. This step will be required for many kinds of projects that impact wetlands as part of the permitting process. If it is a small project, it is possible that you may not need to hire a CWS. Another tool you can use to understand your property better is the Wetlands Permit Planning tool. Does your property include protected wildlife habitat? Are there protected species and plants? Have you received any feedback from the Natural Heritage Bureau after doing the data check? And if so, have you followed up with the appropriate agency? Have you incorporated the required or suggested project changes into your proposal? Please include photos of all areas you will be impacting. Include data sheets or a delineation report when appropriate. And please provide a thorough description of the project proposal and need. What does your project need to move forward successfully? Does it need a septic system, a tie-in to sewer or water, a well, other appurtenances, a driveway or parking lot which can accommodate emergency and/or service vehicles? It's good to think big picture here and remember that any construction that requires excavation or fill may require permitting. To get a wetlands permit, you will need to demonstrate that your project design avoids and minimizes impacts to wetlands and surface waters as much as practicable. So as you plan your project design, be thinking about, how can I place these structures so that they avoid impacting jurisdictional areas as much as possible? If you're still shopping for a property, have your project needs in mind. If you need 1,500 square feet of parking in addition to the building, is there enough buildable, non-wetland land? A good example is crossings for access, such as driveways that need a culvert or a bridge to cross a wet area. Is there another way to access the site without crossing a wetland or stream? Consider multiple alternatives. If an alternatives analysis is performed and avoidance cannot be achieved, is the crossing or fill proposed at the least amount, square or linear footage of impact? If your project is suitable to the lot, ask yourself, how do I complete the project with the least amount of impacts to wetlands and resource areas? And if avoidance is just not feasible, is mitigation appropriate to offset impacts, and if so, has it been proposed? On the topic of wetlands permitting and avoidance, there is an environmental fact sheet available on our website. Additionally, Wetlands Best Management Practice Techniques for Avoidance and Minimization, which is a comprehensive guide, can be found here. Also, if seeking assistance with understanding ENVWT 900 stream crossings, please review a comprehensive presentation on our website.
Thank you for watching. Be sure to understand your property, know your project-based needs, and consider ways to avoid and minimize your project impacts. If you have any questions, we are here to help. Email us at lrm@des.nh.gov or call 603-271-2147 and ask to speak to the Inspector of the Day. We are happy to help make the process a bit smoother for you.